Hello, this is Poden, and you may or may not remember, but a little under a year ago, I made a series of 3 videos on my first impressions of the upcoming Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the Nintendo Wii, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation Portable. If you followed my videos at all, you no doubt have noticed that I haven't made any new ones lately, and that comes with reason. For one thing, I'm the type of person that believes that if you're going to make a video of yourself talking about anything, and expect people to listen to it for 10 minutes, you should feel adamantly about it and put something in there that they're going to want to hear. Otherwise, what's the point? And I hope that I've done that for you today. Second, my mic broke. And as you can see, I have a new mic and I'm up and ready to go, and it couldn't have come at a better time because YouTube is swarming with gameplay footage and trailers galore. And thanks to a certain Blue Dragon of UNA, I was given the idea to make a video on what I thought of it all, and to really say whether or not it looks like it's living up to the expectations that I originally had. So, without further ado, these are my second impressions of Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Now, to answer the question, does it live up to my original expectations? Yes and no. For one thing, there's the storyline. And it's become public knowledge by now that since this is a revamp and not a continuation of the story, a lot of the characters, even though you still play as the same guy looking for his daughter, and Sybil Bennett and Dahlia are still involved, everybody's changed quite a bit. The plot's changed too. Now, while I don't have a whole lot of experience with exactly what's changed, it became pretty obvious the moment I started watching. Now, originally this bothered me. They're taking characters that I love and a lot of you love and changing them. They're taking a plot that we loved and changing it. But when you really think about it, isn't that the point of a revamp? I mean, why would you want a game that's not expected to be the same thing, but keep the same storyline? Isn't it better to have something completely new? Isn't that what adds to the realism of the whole thing? And based on the pretty impressive dialogue and voice acting of this, I expect the plot to be great, or at least satisfactory. Now, what you may remember, I believe I mentioned before that it being put on the Nintendo Wii means that the graphics are probably going to take a big hit. And I wasn't shocked to see that I was correct. The graphics in this aren't even as good as the graphics in Silent Hill 2, 3, or 4. And when you get to a game based on fear and realism in that sense, having almost cartoonish textures at times and some graphical errors and bugs might really sap away from the scare factor of the whole thing. But then I got to thinking about it, and I realized that, and especially seeing it for myself, without having any weaponry to defend yourself and only little flares to wave around to scare them off until the flares eventually die out, and especially the genius profiling system, as soon as you start getting chased by something, any fears or suspicions that the graphics might take away from it are completely gone. And what I originally thought might be gimmicky about the control system, them putting it on the Wii just to get some use out of the Wiimote, I'm realizing that's adding so much more than realistic graphics ever could. The way that you control various things, pick up cans and shake them, control the flashlight around, actually have to stay in real time while you access the menu on that phone. It's all genius. And it's something that I don't think could ever be achieved with the other systems. And sorry to say it to the people who only have a PlayStation 2 or a PSP, but I don't believe you're going to get the same experience that you're going to end up getting with the Wii. And that being said, the game looks like it might be a bit limited. It looks like we might end up getting sort of a Fable situation. And I don't know if you've ever played Fable, but it was a game that came out for the Xbox and the PC, I mean. And originally it was supposed to be this amazing masterpiece game that just completely surpassed every other RPG and threw everything away, and it was going to be great. And even the gameplay footage backed this up. But when we actually got it, it wasn't quite what we expected. And even though I haven't played the sequel, I heard that it's even bigger of a disappointment. Don't get me wrong. Fable, and especially Fable the Lost Chapters, were some of my favorite games of all time. But if you've ever played them, you really know what kind of a letdown they were compared to what was originally supposed to exist. And I'm afraid that this game is probably going to be a bit like that. The profiling system, while definitely good and definitely convincing, looks like it's really only going to be good for one playthrough, and after that, it's just not going to affect you the same again. So, while you're going to have a terrific first time, I don't expect much replay value at all. But I believe that the first time just about any of us play through it, it's it's not going to be a game that you're going to want to turn the lights off and turn the sound up. It's probably going to be the scariest in the entire series, except maybe the original, which was just plain horrifying in every way, especially for the time. So, if I really had to answer the question, is it looking as good as I originally expected? Yes. In every way, yes. There are a few letdowns, but for every letdown, there is a definite positive that I wasn't originally expecting. The frozen ice world looks so much nicer than I feared. I knew that it could look good, and it does. It looks horrific, it looks desolate, it looks horrifying. It is in every way what I was hoping for. And if the image on the screen tells you anything, ice can definitely be scarier than rust. Now, I will be making another video in about a month or two, reviewing the game itself. I will be getting it as soon as possible, and I'll probably play through it in about a week. So, it might take a little while, but expect to follow up on this. For now, this has been Podin, and I'm signing out. Expect me in about a month or two.